for two times. And in the last meeting, you have already seen Madam talking to you, introducing herself. Really, you are lucky because she is very efficient professor. Got international awards in oral presentation of the topic on food and nutrition. Thrice she got best presenter award. That is her greatness. Thank you, madam, for accepting our invitation to take the counseling sessions. So you are all very lucky in this way, having Professor Ruchu Kotalia as your professor for this DNHE program. Thank you, ma'am. Now, before starting the session, I request Mr. Joshi to explain for a minute what is LMS, how to uh, put their attendance on the session, because during the session they need to do their attendance also, otherwise it will be very difficult. This attendance should go to Minister of Education. So Mr. Joshi, please come in and explain how to log into the LMS portal and how the students can enroll themselves or do their presence. Joshi ji. Joshi ji.
Hello, everyone can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Please mute your mic.
Okay.
We can't hear you, sir.
Why can't you create us our WhatsApp group so that we can be talking and
Madam,
Yes, sir.
good evening, madam. He has already explained that in the beginning of the session itself. So now you can start, please.
Okay, fine. So I guess they are clear how to mark their attendance in the
Yes,
LMS. Then
yes.
they will do. Okay, all right. So let's begin the session. So this is the first session for Diploma in Nutrition Health Education. So first of all, I would like to ask you that I formally start sharing my screen and we start discussing about the first topic, which is also block one, as per we say that what is basic nutrition. I would like to ask you that what is nutrition for you? What is the objective and what is the basically outcome that you are expecting out of diploma in nutrition health education? So starting for from Safari, could you please answer my question? Okay. Isaac, could you answer it? Okay. Zahraddin Tahir, could you answer this question? All right. Am I not audible? Could this session be a little interactive? By this method, you would
You
be
are
able to
audible,
learn
madam. Your
better.
voice is very clear.
Yeah, so with this method, you would be able to learn better. And we holistically will have a very good learning. So I would really appreciate if, few of you can a little on your mic and speak up to me. Edwin,
Okay, good. Is it good afternoon? Good morning.
yeah, good afternoon.
So please, can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
Yeah, I just asked a very simple question, that is uh, that you all have joined this course. So what is the outcome that you are expecting? Or what is the major objective that you have joined nutrition? You want to learn nutrition. Why?
So on my own side, I applied for this course nutrition because I'm a registered nurse already. So I've been in a situation where I've seen malnourished students, children, where I manage such cases where I have difficulties in some aspect on the nutritional diet to advise the mothers on what to take, what to give their children. So I
Good.
basically applied for this course to know more about nutritional diet for malnourished children and how to prevent malnutrition. So I
Hmm.
think at the end of this project or course, I think my questions will be answered. And I hope it's going to be useful for me and for my community also.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent. That is excellent.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning, mom.
Good morning.
You mentioned my name first, so
Yeah, yeah.
if I can get the question again.
Yeah, yeah. The simple question was that why did you join this course? So what are your expectations after this?
All right. First of all, I'm a health worker at a hospital in Ghana, and I can see the lack of the hospital facilities in Ghana. We lack people who have knowledge about nutrition. So I decided to join this course to help my hospital, at the same time to help people from the rural and urban um, areas in my village or in my country. That was the main reason why. So at long last, I want to be somebody who teach my people when it comes to nutrition or how they
Great.
can, control their diet.
Good, very good.
That's the reason
Great,
why.
very good. I'm so happy to listen all these types of answer. Yes, Isaac, I guess you are also meaning to say something. Kindly share.
Yes, yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Isaac from Uganda.
Yeah.
I also happen to be a health worker working in one of the government institutions in our country.
Okay.
Well, personally, the reason I joined, I wanted to know more about nutrition. It so happens that in 2020, during the COVID pandemic, I kind of developed hypertension during the pandemic. But when I talked to a colleague, I was surprised that I had started on the antihypertensives, but they weren't helping me. But surprisingly, when somebody informed me about to change my diet,
Hmm.
somehow the pressures began reducing, and actually it's now like 1 year while not on treatment. But basically, I realized it was because of the feeding habit that I had to change. So the reason I wanted to learn more about is nutrition. To know, I realized that nutrition basically is medicine as well if you follow the right, if you know what to eat in the right time. So basically, that's the reason why I decided to join this so that maybe I can help myself and the community. Thank you.
Great. Great. Very great. I'm so happy to, listen to such kind of answers, such a focused
Hello.
answers. So it all together makes you feel so happy, whom you are addressing. Yes, please. I guess Tahir, you wants to say something?
Yes, ma. Good morning, good afternoon, all.
Yeah, yeah.
My
Good
name is
afternoon.
Bharati from Nigeria. I'm a physiotherapist working in a government hospital in Nigeria. The
Okay.
main reason
That's
why I joined this course is I've been seeing a lot of patients coming down to our clinic with nutritional, like, can I say, malnutrition. It could be under undernutrition or overnutrition. Some will come down that they want to reduce their weight, and you cannot reduce somebody weight without correcting his diet. So and we don't have much nutritionists down here, especially in northern part of Nigeria. That's why I think
Hmm.
this course will be
Ita dole mata ina ne take? A ofis ɗinta take. Ana ne ofis na take? A can Indiya ne.
I hope
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
in the right place.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
babba
yeah.
na
I
gida
got it.
lokacin da aka
Yes,
aka hana
Manzo.
mu aka koro mu gida strike din nan sai
Yes, Manzo, you want to say something? All right. So I'm extremely happy and delighted just to hear such wonderful answers and very focused answers. And what I can understand with what all of you were right now talking, it was that you all want to do something for your community. You know, there is one thing which is called as that we learn because somebody has asked us to learn. But then there is a stage in life when there we find the gap identification. That where the gap is being there, and where do we feel that our, people in the society or maybe in our community they are lacking, and we want to really do something for them. So, nutrition is that kind of a field because nutrition, in simple words, if I have to say, then it is actually called as the science of nutrients. You know, there are these basic concepts, what we say as eat properly, eat all food groups properly. It seems very simple that whatever I'm eating, whether it is balanced or not, these kind of concepts, you must be hearing it on Google. You must be coming across people are doing YouTube videos. But in order to understand why carb comes first, why protein comes after that, then why lipids are there? Is it lipid when we say only related to fat? Is it lipid only means obesity? Or there is much more beyond to that? And then we talk about vitamins, minerals, fiber, and water. So here are these seven nutrients. What you can also call it as nutrition, which is the science of the nutrients. So, if we have to understand nutrition in the real sense, that means we have to understand the science behind these nutrients, that how these nutrients work together to give a very healthy lifestyle and to give a very healthy body to everybody. Because at the end of the day, what we expect a healthy lifestyle, which we also call it as a fit body, a body which is free from lot of diseases, a body which helps you to sustain and do whatever your day to day activities are, a body which has right type of immunity. Are you understanding this? Now there was one more word what, I guess Tahir has touched, that is called as malnutrition. So before I actually talk about, the science of the nutrients, I would like to pester upon the word over here that for a lot of the people in the world, they think malnutrition means only somebody who is poor, poverty, and they are not able to eat well. It is absolutely, I would like to say, two sides of coin. If I break up this word, which is called as malnutrition, I would be getting two words over here. One is called as M-A-L, which actually means imbalance. And the another word is nutrition. That means there is some imbalance in the science of the nutrients. Either you are eating them more and or else you are eating them less, or there could be some kind of a, I would like to say, a condition where it would be that you are eating some kind of nutrients more and you are eating some other kind of nutrients less. Like, I would like to give you an example over here that if you see an obese person, what do you observe in the obese person? You will see that that obese person has a drool over towards one particular kind of a nutrient, which could be like lipids, for example, fats, for example. I really request, yeah, that's better. Yeah. So I hope whatever I'm saying, you all are able to understand it. Are you able to understand it?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. So, what I'm meaning to say that either a person is eating one type of nutrient more, like if you see an obese person, generally they are volume eaters. They won't be happy if the volume of the food is less in their diet. And that is how slowly and steadily they also become a little binger. Binge eating. That means no, that kind of a eating where there is no mind. It is totally mindless kind of a eating. And they are not worried about the micronutrients. But at the same time, when you see somebody who is undernourished, who is not eating well, so there you would be finding that maybe they do not have the proper meals to fulfill their requirement of the body for whole day, or maybe for 12 hours when you are working and for another 12 hours when your body requires rest. Because even if you sleep, never forget that your organs are continuously working day and night. So, for their continuous work, what we also call as BMR, BMR means basal metabolic rate. That means what is the minimum energy requirement of your body so that all your organs can work day and night. Suppose today you feel that I do not want to work, I want to take rest. Your legs, your arms, you can stop speaking also. But what about heart, liver, brain, and kidney? Do they have an option to say that today I'm not in a mood to beat or not in a mood to do my job? Because if this happens, a person may die. So that is the reason there is such a, I would like to say, huge role of nutrition. And malnutrition is just not about being poor or poverty. It is actually the deficiency or the imbalance in the nutrients. So why nutrition is so important? Nutrition is so important because it is like a prevention from lot of diseases. It's like a management. It's like a support in lot of diseases and disorders. As you must have heard that Hippocrates once said that let food be thy the medicine, and let medicine be thy of food only. That let we all eat our food just like, that it has got very good medicinal properties. And whenever we think about that, what would be good for our body, which has got medicinal properties, so the answer should be coming as food only. Because if we do not give importance to food, then unfortunately, we may have to eat our medicines as food. That if you are a diabetic patient, if you are a heart patient, you may have to eat 8 to 10 pills per day, just like the way you pop in your food. Okay. So with this thought, let us start with our the topic that is called as the basic nutrition. One of you can confirm it to me if you are able to uh, see my screen. Just give me 1 second. Let me open my document, please. Is this visible to all of you? Is the screen visible?
It is opening. It is opening.
Okay, okay, okay. Now is it visible, Joshi ji?
Yes, Dr.
Yes.
Please.
Okay. Yeah. So, as we always say that, why do we eat food and why do we need food? Definitely, it is required for our survival. And one thing which I would like to highlight over here is that whenever, henceforth, you are counseling any person that eat this and eat that, it is very important just not to say eat this, that is quality. It is much more important to tell about the quantity, that how much you want me to eat, because nutrition is not about exclusions. I mean to say, don't eat that, don't eat this. I would appreciate if you all be on mute, please. I would really appreciate if you all be on mute, please. Fatima, would you mute yourself? Yeah. Yes. So, like, people really get very, very somewhere scared whenever they come to a nutritionist and dietitians, because lot of them would always tell them not to eat this, not to eat that. Rather, the counseling should be to eat this and to eat that and to always specify the quantity. Like if today I really am craving for sugar, so if I take such a small cube of a chocolate, do you really think it is gonna make a difference in terms of calories? No. But it is going to make a lot of difference in terms of my mindful satisfaction. I would feel so happy that I actually consumed a little bit of the chocolate to quench my sugar craving, what I was getting. Now, if it happens that I just control myself, no, I won't eat. Maybe after 2 days, I will get such kind of a thought process that I would be binging on these foods. So please don't forget this line, what I'm saying, that it is very important when we talk about balanced diet. We need to counsel people not only about the quality, but also about the quantity, because this only helps in improving the lifestyle and also has got a great role in the human health. So very important that why do you think we would be eating food? We would be eating food because, they give us energy. They give us that much of the energy so that we can carry out our day to day work. They will keep our blood sugar levels normal, as well as whatever is the basic physiology. Physiology means functioning of the organs. That could be there. Then also very important for bodybuilding, because human is nothing but just a cluster of cells which are called as tissues. And tissues further make muscle, then organ, then organism, and finally, the organ system, and then the organism comes into picture. So every day there is a wear and tear in our body. Every day it's like a factory that there is growth, development, and maintenance. And we also eat food so that, our immunity could be boosted. Because at the end of the day, whatever the food we eat, there are certain kind of pigments, there are certain kind of, I would like to say, the colors over there naturally, which are very, very important for building up the strong immunity. A very small example I would like to give it over here. Like a lot of people always feel that we should not be drinking tea, we should not be taking coffee. Either there are people those who are teetotaler, coffee totalers, or else there are people who would be totally against it. But just trust me, if you take it in the right quantity, that means not more than 1 to 2 cups per day, and that to control on your sugars. No white sugars at all. Rather, you can take, palm sugar, coconut sugar, or jaggery. Could somebody tell me, in your country, is the jaggery powder available? Or what is the source of sugar that you use to put in your beverages? Could anybody please tell me? What is the source of
Sugarcane,
this?
ma'am.
Yeah. So, what is the source of sugar that is generally available? Do you have jaggery powder available over there, or date powder available over there to add
Yes,
sweetness to
ma'am. We have
beverages?
that powder.
Very good. Okay.
We have the date.
You have dates. Okay. Very good. Okay. Do you have sugarcane sugar also available over there?
Yes, we
Yes,
have it so much, ma'am.
Okay. So is that sugar white in color or it is brown in color?
It is brown.
brown. Brown
Okay.
sugar.
Good. Very good. So if it is brown in color, that means it is like a little virgin sugar. If it is made white in color, that means it has been bleached, which is very, very harmful for the health as well as the organs. So kindly note this point of mind. Whatever sugars are available, none of them has to be white in color, because if you see dates also, they are not white in color. If you see sugarcane juice also, it is not white in color. So the moment it becomes white, that means they are bleached in order to give them white kind of a color or much acceptance. But at the end of the day, they are very harmful for the health. Okay. So getting back what I was just explaining to you, that was that, you know, uh, quantity really makes a lot of difference. So 1 cup of tea and 1 cup of coffee is very, very good for health. So just saying these kind of things, that don't consume coffee, don't consume tea, or else saying other way around that, tea and coffee are good for health, they are very half statement. If I really have to complete this statement, for this it is very important that I tell to people what is the quantity to be consumed. Like people generally say that please drink water, it is very good for health. But the question arises, how much quantity? If I drink 1 to 2 glasses of water, would that be enough? So, of course, the answer is no. Now, coming to what are nutrients, as I said, that they are the compounds which are present in the food and which would really help you to survive, grow, and reproduce. And these are the 7 nutrients which are there in front of you, Very conveniently, in certain books, water and fiber are ignored. But do not forget that water is one of the most precious forgotten nutrient, which is placed as the first place, in the nutritional this chart board. Why it is placed as first? Because if you look at your blood, blood is nothing but it is water, which is like a solution, which is like a, I would like to say blood is a solution which contains water as a universal solvent. And RBC, WBC, platelets, and your plasma proteins, all these are with minerals, vitamins, they are dissolved in it. Just imagine if you are suffering from dehydration or there is an excessive loss of water inside your body, then it can go to a fatal kind of a stage that a person and especially children can die because of dehydration. You must have seen that when a child is malnourished and its immunity is also compromised, due to which a child develops this kind of a problem, which is called as diarrhea or maybe dysentery, then eventually there is a organ failure. So if I join the dots, the organ failure is occurring due to the shrink of the organs or maybe the cells inside them, all because of the deficiency of water and electrolytes. So, if we want our body to be healthy, if we want that all our nutrients should be circulating everywhere, if we want that the waste should be evacuated from our body, waste means urine, nitrogenous waste, what we say, urea, uric acid, and in the help of the bowel movement. Because if your gut is not healthy, then your mind is also not healthy, your immunity is also not healthy. A person who has a good bowel movement also has a very good immunity. So for all these things, you require what? You require good amount of water. Yes, please. Isaac, are you are meaning to ask me something? Or Abdul, you have raised your hand? Okay, that's fine. So if you're not understanding anything or you want to ask me some question, you can just open your mic and you can speak to me. That is okay. Okay? But since nobody is speaking, so that means I would be continuing. So as I said that water is the most important nutrient, but unfortunately it is forgotten. People take it very much for granted and they basically don't give much of importance to it. So never forget to keep your body in a good harmony and a homeostatic state. You really require a good amount of water. Okay? So now when I move on from here, like you can see my screen once again. So let us now see them a little one by one. So these are the nutrients. So when I see the nutrients, which I said at the top that we do have seven nutrients. So these seven nutrients also have their own classification. That means they are divided into macro and micro. Macro doesn't mean they are more important and micro are less important. No, it just absolutely means that you need macronutrients in more quantity to do their job in the body because they are also the source of ATP. That's what we say as the energy. And micronutrients, they are required in a little less quantity in the body and they will do their job even in that less quantity. So you require macronutrients generally in grams and you require micronutrients either in milligrams or sometimes it could be micrograms as well. Okay. So when I talk about the macronutrients, as I said, they provide the energy, but not to forget, water and fiber also comes under the macronutrients. Water is required in liters. Very important question that, how much water I should be drinking every day. So you all must be knowing your body weight, right? So whatever is your body weight, you multiply it with numeral 50. Like for example, if my body weight is 60, then I should be multiplying it with 50 and I would get the answer 3000 ml, which is equal to 3 liter every day. Now, if the environment is very hot, if you just observe that there is lot of sunny environment and the temperature is also quite high, where there are more chances of suffering from dehydration and like that. So in these kind of cases, you can just multiply rather than 50, you can multiply it with 70. So, in the very hot and humid environment, where the temperature is 35 to 40 degree or more than that, you can multiply it with 60 to 70. Like if I am 60 kg, I have to multiply it with 70. I'll get the answer as 4200 ml, which is also equal to 4.2 liters. That means for whole day, I need to consume fluids which are minimum equal to 4.2 liters. Maximum I can take more. I can take 6 liters, 7 liters. But as per my this body weight, I require this minimum, this much amount of water or maybe the fluids like juices, like maybe milk and milk products. It could be the fruits, it could be the vegetables, it could be the pulses with the water what we take or anything what we take as in even the plain water just with lemon or something. So this would fulfill the requirement of the fluids per day. Is it clear to each one of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you all note this down? This simple tip, how to calculate a person per day's water requirement. Did you calculate it?
No, ma'am. Please repeat that.
Yeah, so I said it is the body weight of a person multiply by 50 ml per kg per day. And it has to be body weight multiply by
Hello, ma.
70. Yes, Saval. Multiply by 70 if the environment is very hot and humid. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. It's clear.
Yes, it's
Okay.
clear.
Okay, good. So this is the minimum requirement.
Hello, ma. Please, are you calculating the BMI?
Sorry?
Hello? BMI, body mass index.
Yeah, yeah. I will educate that also, Aval, but not today. We would be learning it in the third block.
Okay, I
My
just
third
joined the
lecture.
class.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's okay. No problem. Today we are discussing about the basics of nutrition, and tomorrow
Okay.
also we would be complaining about it. Then while we are learning about the diet planning, I'll be educating you.
Okay, ma.
Yeah. You can mute yourself. Yeah. All right. So this is how we calculate the water requirement for an individual per day. Okay. So now do you understand it is so important to know the quantity? We always talk about like a layman that, do this, do that. But when we forget to mention about the quantity, then how the positive benefits are going to come? So no longer this kind of a counseling that have 2 liters of water every day, 3 liters of water every day. No, because if our body weight is different, then definitely our requirements also are going to be different. Similarly, when the weather is going to be different, hot and humid, if
Hello,
it is going to
mom.
be, yes, yes, Nambua.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you kindly go back to the calculations? I missed something. My network wasn't okay. Could you? I'm sorry to drag you back. Can you please just go back to how to calculate the to get the calculation?
Yeah, so I said it has to be body weight multiplied by 50 ml per kg per day. And if the
Okay.
environment is too hot and humid, then it has to be multiplied by 70.
70. 70.
Is that okay?
Yes, very okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, I'll go back to my slides now. So, as I said, that macro as well as the micronutrients. So, as I said, that micronutrients, do not judge them that they are micro, so they are not very important. No, not at all. Vitamins and minerals are actually the micronutrients. They may be required in less quantity, but they are very, very important in the energy metabolism reactions. If you want your carbs, proteins, and fats to give you energy, you require your micronutrients, which are vitamins and minerals, to basically take out the energy out of them. No energy metabolism reaction could be completed without vitamins and minerals. Always, remember this. Okay. Now, before going on these nutrients, I don't know why my voice is echoing. Yeah, I think yes.
Mimi Nambuya, may kindly mute your mic.
Yeah. So before we actually go to the question that we say as what are carbs, what are proteins, to them one by one, it is very important first to understand this concept which is called as anti-nutrients. I guess when you see the word anti, you come to know that they do not support the nutrient. What do I mean by that? That means they do not allow the digestion or else the absorption of the nutrients in your body. So, what these anti nutrients could possibly be? These anti nutrients could be the compounds which are released in your body during stressful periods. See, there is nobody in this whole wide world who is not suffering from stress. We all have our own challenges in life, but how do we handle them really makes a lot of difference. There are certain people who do not want to come out of that loop. They do not want to come out as solution oriented kind of a person. They only believe that I just want to be in that kind of a loop. So one could be the compounds which are produced during the stressful periods. The another could be alcohol. The another could be smoking. Alcohol basically metabolism is going to occur in the liver, in the pancreas, in the intestines, and also it is metabolized in your brain. I repeat again, the residues of the alcohol, they are metabolized in your liver, in your pancreas, in your brain, as well as your intestines. Not every individual can handle alcohol, and alcohol consumed at a quantity more than required, then it could be harmful not only for the organs, especially the liver, but also it interferes with the digestion and the absorption of the nutrients. Especially smoking. There is no reason to smoke. Whenever a person smokes, there is a release of so many harmful compounds in the body, which definitely do not allow the digestion as well as the absorption of the nutrients. Similarly, nowadays, I would see that, a lot of youngsters or maybe people of any age, everybody is getting very fond of junk food and processed foods. So, what are your thoughts on it? Do you see in your community that people are eating junk food or they are eating processed foods like chips, like Coke, cold drinks, burger, pizza, and all that, French fries? So, any thoughts on that you would like to share? Are people attracted towards the easy food and the convenient food? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, I think for my country, Ghana,
Mm.
people are attracted to that food, especially when there are occasions like birthday celebrations, weddings, and other stuff. And mostly, some people that works my hospital, they are attracted to that because most of them, whilst they are coming to work, they don't eat. So for junk food, when it is passing by, they just take in anything that they want. That's the
Correct.
little thing I can share.
Yeah, correct, correct. And why they are gaining popularity? Because they are very convenient. People feel just you just need to open the packet and just you need to pop it in. So they are basically cheap calories, high sodium, high trans fats in just very less amount of the money you have to spend. Yes, please. I think Abu Bakar, you want to say something?
Mhm. Good evening, ma.
Yeah, good evening.
My most of my people around Nigeria likes something soft drinks of
Mm,
Coke or pizza or cheese. Most
mm-hmm.
of them like that, and usually they usually take that within weekend outing, like going some mall or restaurants.
Correct, correct. And do you
Yeah,
know that
and
one that cheese slices, which are very popular and people do, take it. It contains the amount of sodium, which is actually your whole day requirement. such a high bombardment of sodium is there in that one slice of cheese, or like that, what a lot of children are also fondly very eating it. Correct. So when
Yes,
it
actually.
yeah, yeah. So what I was meaning to say that these convenient foods, unfortunately, they have entered so predominantly in the lifestyle of everybody, whether you are in Nigeria or whether here in India also, I see that everywhere it has entered. So what are the harmful effects what we are getting because of such kind of, the anti-nutrients? They are basically interfering with the digestion absorption of the other useful nutrients, and they are potential of disturbing the pH of the blood. So here I would like to comment upon that there is something called as the concentration of hydrogen in our blood. Concentration of hydrogen in our blood means what should be the amount of the minerals in our blood inside the bones, and what could be the amount of some urea, uric acid, or nitrogenous waste in our blood, because all these wastes are quite acidic by nature, and they are counteracted by the minerals in our blood, so that the pH of our blood is basically alkaline. But when we eat such kind of foods, for example, processed foods, which contains lot of high sugars, high salts, highly processed, trans fats, high in cholesterol, and not only that, they contain so many harmful colors, so that they could be appealing and attractive to the public. They are potential of changing the pH of our blood from alkaline to acidic. So when your pH in the blood is acidic, what are the harmful effects? You will have very bad impact on your bone health. No wonder nowadays so many problems related to bone health, like back issues, then loss of grease in the joints. They are occurring at a very early age, while people are so sedentary, and it is occurring at a very early age, all because of the changes in the pH of your blood, which is getting converting from alkaline to acidic, and due to which the skin health issues, due to which the organ functioning issues, due to which endocrinological issue, which I mean to say the hormonal issues, they are rising day by day, not only in adults and even in the children. I hope you all will agree with me with this. So what I'm proposing over here that we need to have a clear check on these kind of anti-nutrients. As I have mentioned over here, cigarettes, alcohol in a very high quantity, and these kind of DOs which contains chlorofluorocarbons, pesticides. As we know, the farmer, just in order to get its livelihood, lot of farmers are spraying the pesticides on their crops so as for the good or maybe the high produce. And antibiotics, antibiotics should only be consumed if it is required. If we keep on consuming antibiotics even for small reasons like cold and cough, so what this could be harmful, that it can really disturb our health and can block the absorption of the other nutrients. Similarly, synthetic dyes in the processed foods, phytates and oxalates, they are example in lot of foods, but these two compounds, phytates and oxalates, the moment you cook, they are going to be reduced. So, cooking practices have to be there. And according to the World Health Organization, the diet which provides optimum nutrition, taking into account your mindful quantity, quality, that is something what we defined as the basis for the good health. Because health is nothing but a complete state of well being of an individual. We cannot say health is just that you do not have a disease or disorder. It is a complete or the holistic well-being of an individual. And while planning a diet for any individual, one thing which you should be very clear in your mind is that is called as that whatever you give to an individual, it should give a level of satiety. Satiety, I mean to say that it should be able to fill the nutritional requirement of an individual. That is very important, because if you do not feel in mind very happy after eating some food, that means you are vulnerable for doing cheating. You cheat yourself. When you feel that everybody is sleeping, then you start hogging the food when you are not mindfully satiety you are feeling. So let's come to the first nutrient, that's called as carbohydrates. So carbohydrate is macro or micro? Let me ask this question to you and
It's macro,
anyone.
ma'am.
Very good. Very good. That's excellent. So,
Rice macro.
yeah, excellent. So I'm happy you all are
Yeah.
able to understand. Are you finding it interesting? Are you able to understand everything? You can please tell me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
the
ma.
session is very interesting, ma'am.
It's
Okay,
very
good.
interesting.
Good, good. I'm happy that you all are able to understand. So, first is, as I said, carbohydrates. This word carb actually has been adopted from the word what we say as saccharides. And saccharides means sweet, something which we feel a little sweet. Like I would like to say over here that when you eat some bread or maybe you eat rice, so could you tell me which type of rice is available in your country? Is brown rice available? Or is parboiled rice available, hand pounded rice available, or black rice is available? Tell me, which one is available and which one do you eat?
Uh, Hello, ma. Can you repeat it again?
Yeah, so I just was asking to know about the.
Hello.
Yes, yes, yes. So, do you
You know,
all
I can
consume rice? Do you all consume rice in your day-to-day life?
yeah,
Okay,
yes.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Yes, we
We
do.
have
So,
local
which
We do
rice.
type of
consume rice.
rice do you consume?
White and brown
What
rice.
are the types of the rice, ma'am?
White rice. Okay, okay. Okay. So just wanted to add to your vocabulary. There are so many types of rice which are available in the world, which are very, very healthy. That's called as the parboiled rice. That means that rice which doesn't look very white in color. It's a little creamish in color and also has a very, I would like to say, wide kind of a grain. Not long, but a little wide kind of a grain. Then nowadays there is a new type of rice, what we call as black rice. I'm sure few of you must be consuming it or must have seen it because
No, in
black
our country
rice,
we don't have.
sorry,
In our country we don't
I
have.
haven't seen it before.
okay, okay. Yes, Safari, you also wanted to say something?
Yeah, I haven't seen some before.
Okay, okay, okay. So, okay, so if few of you are confused, let me show you. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
please.
Yeah.
Yes,
Good.
ma'am.
So, can you see this rice in front of you?
Yes, mom.
So
Yes.
this is
Yes,
actually
we can
called
see.
as the black rice. This color
Oh,
is
all right.
black because of the nutritional properties what it gets from the soil. And it is an excellent source of magnesium, zinc, fiber, as well as iron. So there are a lot of studies which have been done on these rice.
No,
Although
how do you do?
although it looks like black, so that is the reason, the acceptability by the people is little less. However, few people have consumed it in the sushi or something like that. But just want to add into your vocabulary that the moment you basically cook it, you will see a very nice purple color in the water. That means it has got antioxidants in them, which is excellent for the health of heart, very excellent even for the diabetic patients. Anyways, moving on to the topic what we were discussing, that is, we all consume some or the other form of carbohydrates in our diet. So, whenever we consume rice or maybe some kind of bread, you will feel on your palate it tastes a little sweet to you. You will never find this kind of a sweetness when you eat some legume or a pulse. But when you eat rice or when you eat bread, you will find a very mild sweetness, natural kind of a sweetness. That is the sweetness which is given by the carbohydrate. That is the reason they are also called as saccharides. Like if you see their classification, in their classification, we generally, sorry, so, in their classification, we call them as monosaccharide, that is single sugar, disaccharide, that is double sugar, polysaccharide, that is, so many types of sugars into it that you cannot count it, the molecules of sugar into it. So, don't worry. This all is mentioned in your DNHE books. So, you don't need to panic or worry. This is basic. You please listen to me what is the value addition I am doing so that whenever you are reading your books you will get all those things what we have discussed in the class, okay? Although these are my own notes which I have developed, So they could be a little different from what is mentioned in your DNHE. Different means you may find some additional information or something like that. So that thing you can definitely note it down. So when we see the carbohydrate, this is the structure. I'm not expecting from any one of you to remember the structure, but I want to take the concentration of all of you towards this formula. Can you all see this formula which I'm highlighting? C6H12O6.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the number of carbon and the number of oxygen is same, but the number of hydrogen is double. Isn't that is true?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So, who gives you energy? Who gets burned or combusted in the body to give you ATP? The answer is carbon. It's the carbon which gets burned in your body and it gives you the energy. But the wonderful part about the carbohydrate is it has oxygen molecule in the same amount that the carbon could be burned very efficiently. Secondly, the formula for water is H2O. So here, if you see its structure, we can easily form water out of the carbohydrate. What I'm meaning to say over here, carbohydrates, they are called as the primary fuel. Whenever we talk about that, what is the basic source of energy for the body? It is not water, it is neither fiber, the name is carbohydrates. We eat carbohydrate not to store them, but to use them for our day to day life because they are the primary fuel for the energy. They are the primary fuel source for our body. We never consume proteins for energy because if proteins would give you energy, then who is going to build up the body? If fats are going to give you energy, then who is going to give the insulation to the organs? But why do we eat carbohydrates? Why do we eat rice? Why do we eat breads? We only eat them so that we can get energy out of them. You please remember this. So there should be no diet which contains no carbohydrates. No. By this, the blood sugar levels can go low. It is very harmful to prescribe a diet to any person which is low in the carbohydrates because this can really create an impact on the blood sugar levels. Okay? So, carbohydrates, whatever the diet you are going to plan in the future. So, suppose you are making a 2000 kilocalorie plan in the future, which I'll be helping you how it is done. So out of that 2000 kilocalorie, 55 to 60% of the contribution in that calories should be done by carbohydrates. Like 60% of 2000 is what? 1200, right? Isn't that is right? Isn't that is right?
Ma'am, we didn't hear you well, ma'am.
Yeah, I said that whenever you are gonna plan a diet for any person, out of that diet, 60% of the contribution of those calories should be from carbohydrates. Like, for example, Yusuf, in the coming future, when you will learn how to make a diet plan. So, suppose for me, you have prepared a 2000 kilocalorie diet plan. Now, are you able to understand what I'm meaning to explain you?
I'm moving. We are going together.
Okay. So suppose if you are making for me 2000 kilocalorie diet plan. So out of that 2000 kilocalorie, 60% should be by the sources of carbohydrates, the calorie contribution. So if you calculate 60% of 2000, you will get answer mathematically as 1200. So what I'm meaning to say that in this diet plan, the contribution by carbohydrate is 60%. That's what I'm meaning to say.
Okay, I understand, ma'am.
Yeah. So carbs basically occupy the maximum contribution in any dietary plan. Okay? Is it clear? So
Yes,
let
yeah,
us
it's
see
clear.
some, yes, it's good. So let us see some sources of the carbohydrates now. You don't need to remember this structure. This is just for your information. So there are certain carbohydrates which are single sugar like glucose. We all know that after digestion, the food is converted into glucose. Then is fructose. This is the name of the sugar, what you get in the fruits. Whenever you are eating just ripe fruits, what juiciness and very natural sugar what you feel, it is all because of the fructose. But when that fruit is totally ripe, totally ripe, that it sticks to your buccal cavity, then the fructose gets mature into starch. The storage form of food in the plants is called as starch, right? So starch in the I would like to say in the plants or maybe in the fruits, it is basically contributed by the fructose. So fructose means the fruit sugar. You also find the fructose in the honey. Do you all know honey? Have you all tasted honey?
Yes, ma'am. We know honey very well.
Yes, mom.
Good, very good. So, hence,
Yes, ma'am.
today a very important tip which I wanted to give you is that we stop the consumption of sugars and only shift to jaggery or maybe dates powder or maybe honey for the natural sweeteners. Okay. The another is galactose. Galactose is the one which is present in the milk and milk products. The another one is disaccharide. If you see this word dia means double. That means that source of sugar which is made up of two molecules of sugar. For example, sucrose. Whenever I talk about sucrose, like if you see it also over here, I have mentioned it. In monosaccharide glucose. Glucose means which is found in our body, and glucose you will find in the blood and also in some extent in the fruits, vegetables. And when I talk about fructose, it is found in the fruit sugar or in the fruits or honey. Galactose, which is found in the milk as a part of lactose. When I talk about disaccharide, what is disaccharide? Which is made up of two sugars. Like first is sucrose. Sucrose is glucose. Like whenever I'm eating sucrose, sucrose means table sugar. Whatever this sugar you are eating in day-to-day life, na, that you are adding in your tea and coffee, that is basically sucrose. So when you digest sucrose, you get two sugar molecules out of it. One is glucose and the other is fructose. When you drink milk, you get a natural sugar out of it, which is called as lactose, which is also called as milk sugar, but it is least sweet.
Please, Muhammad, can you mute your mic?
Lactose is least sweet. That is the reason whenever you drink plain milk, there are a lot of people who add sugar to their milk. So, could you please tell me who are you? Can you tell me out of you all also who add some sugar in your milk while drinking? Do you add sugar in your milk while drinking?
No, mom.
No?
Yes, I do.
No.
Okay. So
No.
it's a mixed reaction, right?
We do add
Few of
small
you
sugar,
do
ma'am.
that and okay. So few of you do that, few of you don't do that. So those who are not adding, that means you are only getting lactose. You are only getting milk sugar. But those who are adding, they are getting two sugars. Yeah. So those who are adding the sugar to their milk, that means you are getting lactose also, and you are also getting the sucrose out of it. So that is the reason we always, counsel a diabetic patient specifically that if you want to drink milk, please drink it without any table sugar because milk has natural sugar in it, which is called as lactose. You are not feeling sweet because it is the least sweet sugar in this world. But eventually, it's a sugar. You will get it inside your body once it is digested. After digestion, it will give you glucose and galactose. So, the another is maltose, which are made up of two molecules of the glucose. Similarly, there are polysaccharides. Polysaccharides, I mean to say, those kind of sugars which are basically made up of, so many molecules of sugar. And these are the sources which we are eating every day in the form of starch, in the form of fiber, we are eating every day. Like we are eating grains, we are eating cereals, we eat potatoes, we eat roots, tubers, and we are also eating certain parts of the, I would like to say, plant which are not digested in our body. For example, leaves. You cannot digest leaves. You can digest potato. You can digest the starch portion in the grain. But whatever is the fiber present outside, or what we talk about the leaf, like you must be eating green leafy vegetables, right? Why do we recommend green leafy vegetables to all our, family members, to children, or even to a patient every day? The major reason is that they contain lot of minerals, and plus we cannot digest them. They fill our stomach, they give us a feeling of satisfaction, but they do not give us much of energy, because whatever they contain as a, I would like to say, polysaccharide in them, they are basically called as the fiber portion, and we do not have enzymes to digest them. But this is so good thing in nowadays world, when people are suffering from so many lifestyle disorders, that we are giving them something which is filling their appetite, which is easing their appetite, but at the same time, they are not giving them much of energy. So by this we can save people from lot of health issues whose origin could be obesity in that reason. So the another polysaccharides variety is glycogen. Glycogen is actually found in the liver as well as the muscles of the, I would like to say, mammals. So if you eat liver and muscle portion in a meat, so you really get glycogen out of it. Glycogen is nothing but thousands of glucose molecules are coming together. They are stored in your liver and muscles. And with the help of diet and exercise, you can modify it. That means if you are eating less, you will have less glycogen stores. If you are working out more, you will be using your glycogen stores. Okay? So it is as simple as that. So, as it is said that how much carbohydrate you need every day, as I mentioned to you, 50 to 60% of your total energy requirement should be fulfilled by the carbohydrates. Okay? Is this much clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Yes, ma'am.
Good, very good. So moving on to the
Hello, ma. Please, ma.
I'm good to go.
Ma, if I understand this lecture, what you mean the total food we should be consuming for a day, the carbohydrate should be in high amount. Am I right?
high amount means I would like to go by the quantity that is called as 50 to 60%.
Okay. Okay, ma. Does that mean the
And out of,
the quality of carbohydrate
yeah,
should be in
and
greater amount?
exactly,
Okay, ma.
exactly. So our 50 to
Okay, ma.
60% has to be carbohydrate. But now it is your choice while planning a diet. You can put yourself
Okay,
on
ma.
mute. I will be talking. You put yourself on mute
Okay, ma.
because because my voice echoes. So what I was meaning to say that I have shown you so many list of carbohydrates. I have shown you that you get carbohydrates from fruits, you get carbohydrates from vegetables, you get carbohydrates from grains, you get it from legumes, you get it from pulses, only plain water and fats like ghee and oil or whatever you use, animal fat or maybe plant fat. These are the only sources which do not contain carbohydrate. But everything what you eat, what you take, milk and milk products, everything contains carbohydrate. Now, it is my choice that while planning a diet, which type of carbohydrates I need to write or maybe to recommend to my client or maybe for myself. Do I need to give only potatoes for whole day and my client is totally sedentary in nature? Would that be a good idea? The answer would be no, because potatoes contain lot of amount of starch. If those carbohydrates are not utilized, because obviously my client is sedentary by nature, then it can be converted to fats. And the good idea would be that whenever I am giving them the carbohydrate, I have included all food groups. I have included salads because they also contain carbohydrate. I have given whole grains rather than, I would like to say, less fiber grains. I have not done that. I have given whole grains to them. I have given good vegetables to them, whole pulses to them. So they contain carbohydrate, but with the fiber. So, my appeal to all of you as a student is that don't attack on the quantity of carbohydrates. Nowadays, I will see that in order to make people, lose their weight, a lot of dietitians are giving less carbohydrate. But if you give less carbohydrate, it could be harmful on your blood sugar level. What I am proposing over here is that you should be giving 50 to 60% of carbohydrate in the diet, but with the fiber. That means what to choose, which, the quality to choose should be very, very carefully decided and planned. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, my clear.
Yes, ma.
Good. So now, very important question. Okay. So very important question, that what are the functions of carbohydrate? That I'm talking carbohydrate, carbohydrate. So the major is, why do I need them? What is the importance that I should be consuming carbohydrate every day?
Hello, ma, please. But you just say for those people that wanted to reduce their weight, we should not restrict them from taking carbohydrate, but rather we should increase fiber in their food intake.
Correct. The choices matter a lot. If any person wants to reduce their weight, first of all, we would like to counsel them for physical activity. Because you are reducing the food, but what about burning it? So, first is about the physical activity. Second would be about the all food groups over there, since we have started with only first food group. So when I talk about the carbohydrate, I'm just trying to say, please do not design a diet which contains carbohydrate hardly 30% or 35%. It could be really harmful on the blood sugar levels. You can design a diet with 50% of carbohydrate, 55% of carbohydrate, but whatever the sources you pick up, please include fiber with it, like potato with the skin. If you are giving rice, then one portion of rice, but double portion of vegetable with it. If you are giving one bread, then double quantity of salad with it. This is what I'm trying to say again and again. Is it clear?
Yes, ma, I get it.
So, functions of the carbohydrate. Why I'm saying this, you will also get your answer, that why I'm not in favor of reducing the carbohydrates. I'm not in favor. So, once I'm explaining these functions, you will immediately come to know. Now, first of all, why do we eat carbohydrate? Because they give you energy. Carbs are the one which give you energy, I mean to say ATP. You use that, glucose gives you high amount of ATP. You use that, and that is how your body is going to work and would be happy. So the primary function, why do we eat them? So that we can get energy. And not only that, psychologically also we feel very happy when we eat carbohydrates, because they are our basic requirement. Now coming to very important function. This energy is very important to keep your blood glucose levels normal. If your blood sugar levels are not normal, then it could be really very, very harmful for the body. People can go into even coma. They can become unconscious whenever, their blood sugar levels go down. Like high blood sugar levels are harmful, but low blood sugar levels are much more harmful as compared to the high blood sugar levels. Although both are not required. Our body should have a proper homeostasis in the blood sugar level. And how body operates? When blood sugar levels are high, body generally gives you a signal not to eat anything. But when blood sugar levels are low, you get a signal of hunger, and body, I would like to say, pushes you to eat. But generally, what happens? There are certain people who do not listen to these kind of signals because of stress or maybe because of some other factors, and they become malnourished. Malnourished means either overnourished or else undernourished. Henceforth, we will never feel malnourished means only poverty or maybe losing weight. Malnourishment is basically imbalance in the nutritional status, which could be both sides, either over or else under. Is it okay? So, the next function of the carbohydrate, that why do we need to consume carbohydrate? So, before I show you the screen, I would like to discuss with you. I'll just give you a situation where it is that uh, there is one person who is basically specialized in both subjects. One is called as history and the another is called as maths. Okay. Now, this is a person who basically is specialized in both subjects. Now, there is one more person who is only specialized in one subject, that is called as maths. So, unfortunately, one day it just happened that, that the person who is only specialized in maths was not present. So the management thought, why not to send this person A, who is specialized in history and maths also. So they sent that person in the maths class. Now, what would happen about history class? Who would conduct history class?
Ma, nobody.
It's just going
So
to be a combined class.
Ma, the history class is going to be empty.
exactly. So this is the same scenario with carbs and proteins. Proteins are a class that they are required for building your body. They are required for growth, development, and maintenance. But if you use them as a source of energy, they can also give you energy like carbohydrate. But can carbohydrate replace proteins? The answer is no. So when you eat very less, your body uses your muscles as a source of energy. Your proteins, rather than to do growth, development, and maintenance, they start doing the work of the carbohydrates. But then who will do the work of proteins? Can carbs do the work of proteins? No. Can fats do the work of proteins? No. Only proteins can do their work of growth, development, and maintenance. So, why I always say that this kind of a diet, low carbohydrate and high protein, is the biggest myth which exists in the society nowadays. The reason is when you are eating less carbs, like 30% of carbs only, then what you are thinking it is high protein. Your proteins are being utilized to give you energy. Then who will do bodybuilding job? So in such kind of diets, clients will lose their hair, their immunity will go low, their skin would be in a bad shape, they will be suffering from cold, cough, fatigue all the time because somebody has to maintain the blood sugar levels. So if you are not giving carbs to your client because you feel my client is very obese, I do not need to give cereals, I do not need to give fruits, do not need to give vegetables. So then who is going to maintain the blood sugar level? Then body shifts to proteins. That see, carbs are not there. We want glucose out of you because carbs give us glucose. Since it is not there or it is less, we want you to give us the glucose. So, proteins, they must be busy in doing bodybuilding, growth, development, repair. But unfortunately, because of this situation, their whole motto is lost and they are just going to do the work of the carbohydrates, and you will be wasting proteins to give you energy because bodybuilding cannot be done by glucose. Even if you give 100, 200, 300 grams of glucose to a person, the amino acids would only be doing the bodybuilding job, not the carbohydrates. I hope with the help of this example, it is clear to all of you.
Yes, ma, it is clear. We understood.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused.
Okay. Ask me.
Um, Pertaining the replacement of proteins, you see, that
Sorry?
you give that you give an example of pertaining to mass and aesthetics. I'm confused.
Yeah. No, no, I just gave that example that in that example, protein was that person who can teach history also and maths also. But carbs is a person who can only do one job. That is called as to give energy. So in the periods of emergency, when you are not eating properly, your body shifts to proteins to provide you energy. But if your body is providing you the energy, the proteins are giving you energy, Then the primary task of protein, that is called as growth, development, and maintenance. Who is going to do that? So
Okay.
my appeal to everybody is that whenever you are planning a diet, what I'm meaning to say is that it is very important to give proper amount of carbohydrates in the diet with the fiber so that proteins can do their own job. If you can see in the function of the carbohydrates, you will see the third function as protein sparing action. That means if carbs are enough in the body, because glucose is enough in the body, then proteins can do their own job rather than doing the carbohydrate job to give energy. Now, is it okay?
Yes. Okay, I'm understand now. Thank you, ma'am.
Similarly, you've come across a diseased person. Okay, maybe this example would also help you. A diseased person, I mean to say, who has fever or maybe who is suffering from typhoid, and you see that person is just losing muscle mass. Generally, what people would do, they would say that you should eat a high protein diet. You should eat flesh. You should be taking chicken soup. You should be eating beef, mutton, pulses, whatever is the protein available, in that community. They would be saying that why don't you eat all these things? But very conveniently, people forget that only proteins cannot do the job. You need to give cereals also with it, like fish and I would like to say fish and rice, or maybe fish and bread, or maybe chicken and bread, or chicken and rice. This is called as the wholesome meal. One would do the bodybuilding job, repair job, diseased or non-diseased, and the another would be doing the job of giving you energy. So this is how carb and protein, they are friends to each other. They should be taken together. The quantity could be different. Protein could be double, carb could be a little less if required with the fiber, you know. But only giving carbs cannot give you proteins. Only giving proteins cannot give you glucose or maybe the job of growth, development, and maintenance. Okay? Yes, Belu. Sorry, I can't hear you. Okay. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Okay. So do you all understand this? So the very important function of the carbohydrate is first is energy source and the another is protein sparing. I have also given one more function which is called as preventing ketosis. So when I talk about this terminology which is called as ketosis, what do I understand by that? So they are the compounds which are formed in the body whenever fats are used as a source of energy. Now, it is not harmful to use fats as a source of energy, but there is one catch in it. Fats are not soluble in water. We all know that. So, to utilize fats as a source of energy, liver has to convert them into water soluble form. So, the water soluble form of fats are ketone bodies. So these ketone bodies could be used by the body as a source of energy, that is to get ATP. But the problem is that these ketone bodies are very acidic by nature. Acidic means they have the potential to change the pH of your blood. So again, we have come to the same point. If there is a deficiency of carbohydrate in the person diet, then you would be losing on proteins for doing their own job and they would be utilized to give you energy. And growth, development, and maintenance could actually go at a toss. The second thing is you would be producing some harmful compounds in your body, due to which, like ketone bodies, due to which the pH of your blood could be a little changed. So, what I am trying to say, or perhaps I would like to ask you all a question. Do you think dieting and fasting would be a good idea for any person to maintain weight? Crash dieting and fasting?
Yes, exactly, ma.
Hmm?
Exactly.
Yeah, so is this a good idea? That
Yes,
you
ma,
don't
it's
want
good
to eat
idea because
anything whole day?
whenever a person is fasting, those glucose that is being maintained in his in an individual body is going to be maintained to produce a glucose, so that the body is going to use that glucose to maintain the energy of the body.
But what about if you're fasting every day? There are a lot of people who are finding this route that, for so many days they are fasting. Don't you think so that their blood sugar level will go down? Fasting once in a week is okay, that you are trying to give a rest to your body. You are trying to maintain the homeostasis of all enzymes, organs, and the blood sugar level. But what about dieting and fasting every day?
But
Yes, we
ma'am,
are
we know there
fasting
is
every day.
Hello.
Yeah,
I think intermittent fasting will be more beneficial to
hmm,
to a person that wants to lose weight than continuous fasting, because
correct.
in
So,
continuous fasting
yes,
there is going to be
yes,
generation of ketone bodies which
hmm,
are
correct,
harmful to the body, while
correct.
in
And
intermittent fasting there will not be generation of ketone bodies, because
yes,
you give room for taking of carbohydrate during that
correct.
intermittency.
Correct, very correct. And the
Uh,
another thing is, Shamsu, very important is that what are the timings of intermittent fasting? A lot of people are doing intermittent fasting as in morning 8 o'clock and then at night 8 o'clock, and they are just hogging like anything. They are becoming bingers. This intermittent fasting concept has been from, I would like to say, a kind of the decades before you and me were also born. That is in 24 hours. You need to eat for 12 hours, mindful eating, and for the another 12 hours, you need to just close your mouth and you need to give rest to your body. Because once the biological clock, that is the sun sets, that is the time of the time that your lot of hormones like insulin, they are not going to work properly. So if you eat a very high carb meal, then how you are gonna utilize the glucose in your body? So that is the reason after the sunset, we should actually not be eating anything. And then on the next day, we should be starting eating. So at least 10 to 12 hours of fasting is very, very important. That is why you check your blood sugar levels also after 10 to 12 hours of fasting in order to know how your insulin is functioning. Are you understanding? So, intermittent fasting is not a new concept at all. It's a concept which has been developed by Rishi Munis, Vedas. It is such a old kind of a concept. But in it, it is very important that what are the timings of your meal that you need to follow. So just keeping blind kind of a fasting, that is for whole day when your organs need to work, you are not eating anything, and at night you are hogging, then what are the side effects that you are going to get? You are going to lose on your muscle mass, and there is going to be generation of the high amount of the ketone bodies. And these ketone bodies can really be very, very harmful if they are produced in a high amount because they are quite acidic by the nature, and the person may get harmful effects like vomitings, maybe loose motions, acidity issues. These all things could be very, very common. So what we are looking at the nutrient, that is, the basics in the nutrient is always going to be the same. But yes, which quantity do you use for them? What quality do you
hello,
use
ma.
for them?
But I
Mhm.
think that ketone is being produced if the body is used fat to produce energy.
Correct. Yeah, that is correct. I'm not denying that. But I think you have only heard of the term that is called as ketogenesis. I'm talking of the term which is called as ketoacidosis. Ketoacidosis, which occurs, when there is a very high amount of production of ketone bodies in the blood, and they are also excreted in the urine. I'm talking about that. It's not harmful to form ketone bodies
Okay,
because
ma,
this is
got
the
it.
way to lose fats also. But at the same time, not eating anything for whole day, and that is how you are trying to lose weight, so that could be really a little harmful. One of the major reasons for disturbance in the liver health could also be following a kind of diet where it is not being regulated under the supervision of some health professional. Anyways, it is good to know that you all are participating because this really gives, a kind of interactive kind of a session. But moving on from here, that is from the carbohydrates, that is also they add flavors as well as they are using the sweeteners. There are certain kind of recipes where there is a very dominant kind of a market which is related to the carbohydrates. And that dominant market where we see sometimes it is seen that we are not able to find their replacement. Why? Because there are receptors which are located at the tip of our tongue that bind to tiny bits of carbohydrate and send what a human perceive as sweet signal to the brain. That is why, no doubt, you and me can criticize sugars to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, we, you and me also have to agree. That agree is that even if we want that people should not be eating much of sugars, still we are seeing people spoil their health because of sugars. People cheat because of the sugars. So much of processed foods are very, very bakery items and confectionaries. They are in a huge, I would like to say, demand just because of the kind of the taste what sugar gives, because the kind of the satisfaction what it gives to the brain, that's how it is perceived. It is a kind of addiction which people really cannot ignore. When we talk about colas, I have just done this survey and asked a lot of teenagers that why do you like cola? So they do say that combination of sugar with the carbonated beverage as it is, that gives a kind of a kick to the body, and they become so addicted to that kind of the taste as well as the mouth feel what they get out of it. Similarly, a lot of people they do like to have bakery and confectionery every day. I've seen some teenagers having it. So again, the answer is that whole way it coats our palate and it gives you the sense of satisfaction, the happiness. Although I'm really afraid the kind of addiction what you get when you consume high amount of sugars. But that is also the scenario which is present, which you and me definitely have to fight every day and have to educate more and more people every day, because really it is very harmful to have such kind of sweetened beverages or maybe sweetened foods every day, which are the major reason for so many health issues. Anyways, so these are few kind of the functions due to which the carbs are consumed. But this I have jotted down points to remember, very important points. High sugar foods and beverages are usually high in calories and very low in nutritional value. Perhaps they could be cheap in the nutrition value. Cut back on sugar by using less added sugar or substituting high intensity sweeteners. There is a myth in the market that, I can shift to the sugar free, or if I eat a sugar free kind of a sweet, then it is also low in the calories. It is not like that. Lot of the sugar free, they are pure chemicals which are very harmful for the liver as well as kidney. And many sugar free foods are also not calorie free, as you see. Like if there is some laddu, or if there is some sweet, traditional sweet, where frying is done, where other things are added, and you are not adding sugar, can you also say that it is very less in calorie? No, the answer would not be like that. Baked products often require some sugar for acceptable quality. Whenever you talk to a lot of bakers, they will say that if we do not eat the normal sugars and if we eat mixed coconut sugars or maybe palm sugars or maybe jaggery powder, then our pricing would also go up. So we are not sure how many people are going to accept our items, of high pricing. We should not eliminate, very important point, we should not eliminate carbs completely from our diet because the body then uses proteins as an energy source. Ketosis is a condition in which the incomplete breakdown of fatty acids due to the decline of glucose in the bloodstream causes the production of ketones. So, in between the meals, if there is a ketosis production, it is not that harmful for body because it is a natural process. But if some person has picked choose this kind of a route that I want to lose 10 kgs, I want to lose 20 kgs. So what kind of what I'm going to follow? That I'm not going to eat anything. I'm just going to be on fasting for 7 days or 10 days. It is really going to be very, very harmful because there would be loss of the muscle mass and the body would be entering into ketoacidosis. which could be very harmful for your bone health. Okay. So why do we use sugars? A point which we cannot, take it out. These are the items where, sugars are used, and sometimes they are not ready even to replace it. Okay. So these are also the type of the sweeteners which are available in the market, as in the names of, low calorie sweetener.
Bella Musa, will you please off your mic?
Sorry.
Hello.
Bella Musa should off his mic, ma'am.
Now,
Bella Musa, please kindly
now
off your
I'm
mouth.
listening to you.
Okay, you
Okay,
should
I'm
off your
listening to you,
mouth.
sir. Okay, inshallah. I'm listening to you.
Okay.
Please close your mic, please.
Bella Musa, please mute your mic. You can listen after that also. Please mute.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are the types of the sweeteners which are available. One thing I would like to share over here, I have seen this kind of a mentality usually in the diabetic patients, if I have to give an example. They would always say, no, we'll have a sugar-free tea, where they would be putting one or two pills of the sugar-free. Lot of sugar-frees, they are chemicals. There are a lot of countries which have banned asulfame, which have banned saccharin, which have banned, cyclamate. They do not allow them to be used because they are chemicals which are harmful for liver and kidney. Now it is, I guess, the high time. None of us should be waiting for diabetes to occur and then we'll take the less sugars. No. The kind of the lifestyle what we have, the kind of the challenges what we have nowadays, it is very important for all of us to follow a kind of a diet, which contains good amount of fiber, which contains good amount of water, which contains, I would like to say, a balanced meal which contains more amount of salads, more amount of vegetables and pulses, and a little balanced amount of the plain cereals. Because as I rightly said, people feel carbs mean cereals. It's not like that. Carbs means vegetables, carbs means milk, carbs means fruits. We need to focus on these type of carbs more, which have got fiber as well, and we need to limit our cereals. And physical activity, it is something which has to be high. And we need to counsel all the diabetic patients that you need to control on your sweetened tooth. Because if you are taking tea and coffee and you are adding more of artificial sweetness to it, at the end of the day, it is very, very harmful for your liver and the kidney health. Okay? They could be compromised. So, this is what something which I have mentioned over here as well, that these are the class of the sweeteners which are available. One question I would like to ask you over here, have you heard about stevia? How many of you have
No,
heard
No.
about stevia?
no,
No?
no, no.
Okay,
No.
so I think I should be showing it to you first and then probably I should be talking about it. Can you see this? Can you see this leaf?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
stevia is actually a name of a plant which you can see in front of your eyes. This plant contains certain compounds which fall under the class of carbohydrate, but we actually cannot digest them at all because we lack enzymes which are basically present in our body. We do not have those kind of enzymes which can actually be helpful in digesting the carbohydrate like compounds which are present in the stevia. So there is a very big market which is captured by stevia in the name of the products. I hope you are able to see certain products also, na? That stevia sugar, sugar free, use it in your tea or something like that. Can you see this? Even the pills are also available.
Yes.
Can you see this?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So these are the kind of the products which are available, as in for a kind of a sweetener, which is zero calorie kind of a sweetener, but it is natural. So there is a market which says that if you want a replacement of a sugar free, then you can use the stevia powder or maybe the stevia drops. So I'm sure if you also see it in certain medical shops, rather tomorrow I will ask you, just see on certain medical shops if you find the stevia as in product if it is available. But one thing you should not forget, stevia is a natural product, but that doesn't mean that we can have 10 cups of tea and with stevia and we'll feel okay, I'm having a zero calorie kind of a sweetener or something like that. No, the answer is not like that. Everything, as I always say, the quantity has to be really checked. There are certain studies which have basically substantiated this claim that if some person consumes stevia more than 5 to 6 grams in a day, then it could be hepatotoxic. So again, I'm coming to my point. My point over here says that whatever we take, the quality is okay, but quantity is something which really plays the important role. Is it clear?
Yes, mom.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So kindly also search about stevia for tomorrow's class. That whenever you come to class, see in some medical shop if it is available. It is very readily available in India, but as a kind of a very small assignment, I'm asking you all to just check it. Yes, I guess Abdullah Majid, you want to ask me something?
Hello,
Abdullah
Madam
Majid, you want
Ma.
to
I
ask
said,
me something?
what
You
is
raise
the
your
use of
hand.
that stevia?
Sorry?
Hello, Ma. I
Yeah,
said,
I'm
what is the
listening to
use
you.
of that stevia that you have?
So stevia is used as a
What is the
natural.
use of? Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. That it is used as a natural zero calorie
Hello.
sweetener. Am I not audible?
I said, what is the use?
You are audible, ma'am.
Hello?
It's used as a natural zero calorie sweetener. People add it to their tea, coffee, beverages. So it tastes sweet, but it gives you zero calorie. So it is a replacement of the artificial sweeteners what are available in the market because it is a plant leaf, na? We do not have enzymes to digest it and convert it into sugar. So its extracts are available, powder is available in the market, and it is just used as a replacement of these kind of sugars, which are chemicals in the nature. Got it? Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello, ma.
please. Yes, please.
Hello, ma.
I'm
This
listening.
stevia that
If I get you right, Ma.
ma,
Yeah, I'm listening. Listening.
and stevia that you talk about, is it only used
If I
by
get
people that are diabetics, or we that the normal people that have our level of diabetes not high? Can we use that stevia?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That there is a market for stevia where diabetic patients, we are encouraging them to use stevia rather than using the, saccharin, asulfame, or cyclamate. These are the harmful chemicals which are used as a sugar-free substituent, and they are quite harmful
Please,
for
please,
liver as
Abdul Majid, you
well.
should close your mic. Please, Abdul Majid, close your mic.
Got it? So it's the
Yes, ma.
natural replacement of the zero calorie sweetener. What do I understand by zero calorie? That means when I just add stevia drop in my its extract is available. When I add it to the tea coffee, for example, if I'm having, so when I drink first sip of tea coffee, I'll feel sweet, but it will not raise my blood sugar level because I cannot digest the compounds which give sweetness in the stevia. So this is how diabetic patient it is very widely used. But what I was meaning to tell you also was that there are studies which have proven that we should not be using stevia more than 5 to 6 grams per day. Otherwise, it could be hepatotoxic. That means toxicity to the liver. Got it?
Yes, ma. I got it. I got it.
Hello, ma,
Good.
please. if I understand you right, as you just said that
Mhm.
stevia it produces 0 calorie. But
Mm.
in this case, we all know the end product of any carbohydrate is to produce glucose. That is for energy given in the food, in the body. So does that mean that stevia does not give any energy to the body?
So, Ishak, just wanted to tell you, since you're asking me this, the kind of the bonds which are there in the stevia leaf, they are alpha and beta glycosides, if I have to tell you in detail. So these bonds cannot be broken down by amylase, which are the name of the enzymes which are responsible to break down amylose and amylopectin bonds, what we eat carbohydrates in our diet. So stevia leaf does not give you any energy. Whatever is fiber in it, it is okay, but it does not give you any energy. Because
Hello, ma. Hello. Hello, ma.
It seems Madam's net connection is disturbed. She will join again. Please wait for a minute.
Okay, sir.
Ruchu Madam, you are not audible now. Kindly rejoin.
Hello, ma.
Madam has yet to join the session. I believe her connection is not there, and till time she comes in, you just tell me how do you feel the class, how it is.
Sir, the
The
class
class
is
is
very interesting.
Very
Amazing
interesting.
and
I
interesting.
agree with you because all the session,
Amazing and
all the time I was also present and listening because this subject is new for me.
exactly
yeah,
this is general knowledge.
um, I'm sorry.
yeah.
I think my internet connection got dropped.
Yes, madam, it is for seconds, 30 seconds only. You have joined back, no problem.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm just meaning to say that is that, there is a market for stevia, as per the question was asked from me. We do not have enzymes which can be helpful to break them, because the amylase as an enzyme, what we have got, it can only break down what? It can only break down amylose and amylopectin, these kind of bondages. But the alpha and beta glycosides bond is present in the stevia leaf. We cannot break them. So that is why the researchers have explored this kind of the content, and they use stevia so that on the mouth, I mean to say on the palate, a person may feel sweet, but it won't raise the blood sugar level because we cannot digest it. It is as simple as that. Okay.
Ma, I have a question.
Now, there is a very big market for artificial sweeteners, aspartame. These diet colas, these diet Pepsis, which are claiming that they have 0 calorie because they contain artificial sweeteners whose names are aspartame, asulfame, saccharin. Even those chewing gums which say that they are 0 calorie, sugar-free type names. So these chemicals, they are produced in labs. They basically taste sweet on the mouth. But the moment they are there in your intestines, they can give inflammation. Even if they come to your liver and kidney, then over there, they can also give an amount of, they can be harmful for them. So, what I'm meaning to tell you is, again, getting back to, if you have to counsel your clients, you have to tell them that why don't you control your sweet tooth? Because there is an addiction for having sugar beverages and the addiction of sugar palate on the mouth. We need to counsel people for that because, as rightly said, excess of everything is bad. Okay. So, tomorrow, when we meet, I would be talking about proteins. We would be continuing with the proteins and also with the lipids. Since today it was the first class and also the foundation class, so now we all are in sync. I like it the way it has been interactive. And, this is how we would be learning from each other. And I would also be knowing that where your interest lies. Okay. So, any question from anybody?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
My
Oh,
question is talking about when a person is trying
Oh,
to
brother,
advise a
water
diabetic.
content
Sorry?
that before. The water content body
So can you
that
hear me?
Sorry,
you need
I
a cap.
cannot hear you.
The water content from your beginning of like
If you can type your question because your voice is not very clear to me.
calculation, the calculation,
Okay.
hello, ma'am.
the calculation that
Can you
the calculation that question.
Hello, ma'am.
Now understand question.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am.
Yes.
my my
Yeah, yeah.
question is regarding the quantity and quality of foods.
Quantity and quality of food. Huh?
Okay, so
Ask me.
assuming if I am advising a patient that is diabetic,
Hmm.
so does that mean I should not stop the patient from taking carbohydrate and other things that can raise his blood sugar, but rather I should put more emphasis on the amount of the calorie he or she should be taking?
Yeah. So, Zafar, what the question you are asking me, actually, once you will learn how to make a diagram, the
Yeah,
books are also there with you. So at that time, you'll get a better picture. Because if I have to say diabetes, as you have asked me this question, diabetes has nothing to do with carbohydrate. It's actually the problem related to insulin.
yeah,
Insulin is not able to work either properly or very efficiently. So if you totally take out the carbohydrates from the diet, then also there could be low blood sugar levels, which could be very harmful for the patient. And if you bombard the patient with the carbohydrate and insulin you are not taking care of, the patient would suffer from hyperglycemia and again the problem would occur. So, what I'm meaning to say, at first, it is important to understand how do we plan a diet. Second, it is important to understand that what actually the meaning of diabetes is. So, we are going to come to that in our, the lectures further.
Ma,
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah,
what what content the
yeah.
Ma'am, hello.
so the
Yes, yes, I'm
calculation I
listening.
can't just okay, say that 2 grams and 10 that is what ma?
Yeah, yeah, please say, I'm listening.
Yeah, you say that water, the amount of water needed in the body, how to calculate it. You say that the weight of the person, that is the question. The weight, if the person weighs 53 kilograms, so what is the calculation, is the water content needed in the body?
What to calculate?
How the calculation that you say that the calculation of water needed in the body.
Could you please type Abu Bakr because there is a continuous disturbance coming from your background. Please, I'll appreciate if you could type it in the chat box what your question is.
Okay.
Huh? Please type it in the
Hello,
chat box,
ma'am.
please.
Hello,
Yeah,
ma'am. Ma'am,
yeah.
my question is, when a healthy individual keep
You?
when a healthy individual keep taking sugar, does it increases his chance of getting diabetes?
See, Zafar, as I already said this to you, that diabetes, you cannot become diabetic just because you eat sugar.
Mm,
When you develop diabetes, which is actually the meaning that your insulin is not produced in a proper amount
mm,
or it is not able to function efficiently.
mm,
So at that point of time, you really need to look and curtail down your sugars. If some
mm,
person eats, you know, half kg of sweets every day,
mm,
like this, a person will become obese because you are not utilizing your energy properly. But if insulin is produced in a good manner, the person may not be suffering from diabetes. But obesity can give diabetes to that patient. So, what
mm.
I'm meaning to say, sugar doesn't make you diabetic. But when you have diabetes, you need to check and curtail down your sugars. Okay?
Okay, hello, ma.
So, Shamsu, just give me one sec. I guess Shamsu is typing. So, the calculations, yeah. So, Abubkar, your question is the calculations of water needed in the body, right? So, I said this that it is dependent on the body weight. This body
Yes.
weight doesn't matter whether it is idle body weight or whether it is present body weight, because at the end of the day, we push everybody to have good amount of water every day. This is the minimum requirement, not the maximum requirement. So what we do over here is that whatever is the body weight of a person, we multiply this with either 50 ml per kg per day. Like if you are 70 kg, multiply it with 50, you will get the answer as 3500 ml, which is 3.5 liters. Okay. Now, if the weather is quite hot and humid, so at that point of time, you need to multiply this with 70 ml per kg per day. Okay. But this is
Hello,
the
ma.
minimum level. It is not the maximum. Please remember this. Suppose if with this calculation my answer has come 4 liters, I can have 6 liters, 7 liters. It is the minimum requirement according to the bones, according to the muscles, what we have. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. No, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Hello, ma.
Okay.
My question.
Yes, please.
Hello, ma.
Yes.
Hello,
Yes,
ma.
I'm listening. Yes, hello.
My question is, what is the normal glucose level in the blood?
So you are asking me fasting or after food?
What is the normal glucose level in the blood?
Yeah, so there is nothing called as normal as such. It is something like fasting, which is 70 to 110 milligram per 100 ml or per deciliter of the blood. And once you
Okay.
ate the food, 2 hours after eating the food, if we see your blood sugar level, it should be somewhere near to as a cutoff 120 to 130. 70 to 120 to 130. That's how we take it.
70 to 120. Okay, ma. Thank you.
Or it could be 130 also in certain labs.
Ma'am, may I come in for a minute?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, madam. Your lecture is very much interesting. All through I was present. I learned along with the students, and I request all the students to note down your doubts for tomorrow session. Madam will take
Yeah.
a session tomorrow also. Now the time is up. We have to start the next session immediately. So we will move this session with the permission of ma'am right now. And
Yeah.
the next session, tomorrow you come, note down your doubts. Before beginning the session, ma'am will answer all your questions. As madam is telling, it is very right because of distance, there is some voice disturbance. If you please type your question one by one, tomorrow madam will answer those questions first and then begin the lecture. Will it be okay, ma'am?
Yeah, that is much more appreciated because there is some background noise. So sometimes I'm not able
Yes,
to
ma'am.
hear the question. The voice is a little heavy. So we are meeting tomorrow as well. Okay. So probably I'll be just signing off by now because as sir said, you have other lectures as well. Okay. So tomorrow when we meet at 3:30, so whatever your questions are, I'll be taking that first and then I'll be starting with the topic that is the proteins. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, mom.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have
Thank
a
you,
nice day.
ma.
Ma'am,
Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
thank you, ma. Bye.
ma'am, please.
Bye bye, man.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, please, but can we have the PPT this evening?